Welcome to the Success Blueprint, strategies to build a life and business you love. This is your go-to podcast for success in both life and business. I'm your host, Daniel Craig Johnson, and as a seasoned life and business coach with 15 years of experience, I will be sharing powerful stories, practical tips, and valuable insights on personal development, leadership, entrepreneurship, productivity, motivation, and more. Join me every week for the Success Blueprint, strategies for building a life and business you love. Let's ignite your success. Hello everybody, it's Monday afternoon and that means it's time for the 15-Minute Monday. If you haven't listened to my recent episode, which was quite an interesting one, I think, then you know where to find it. Go back to my show and have a listen. I'm sure you can find something that has value for you. Today, 15-Minute Mondays is an high energy episode, but I thought high energy doesn't always have to be on the bright side of life. It can also be on the authentic side of life or on the vulnerable side of life. So today, I want to share a story with you. And because I love the story and it really has shaped a big part in my life, I wrote a little story and I want to share that story with you. And I want to share with you some lessons that I've learned. So I hope that you are ready and that you can buckle up with me. And let's just dive into it. Let's take a comfortable seat. I want you to open your heart as I open mine and share this story with me. And just feel for a second with me how life can play and how life can turn on us. And maybe there's something for you in there. Maybe there's a lesson to be learned. And I hope you will enjoy it. So I call this episode On the Edge of Despair. It's the night I got the last chance to be at work in time or being fired. It was a job that I got in a really dark time of my life. I was young. It was just before I joined military. And a friend of mine had helped me to get this job in a warehouse where I had to collect boxes and I had to collect different items like food items, vegetables, apples and everything. And I had to bring that to pallets and you would collect these articles to build the pallets. And at the end of the night, truck drivers would come and deliver it to distribution hubs. And that was all that we had to do. And obviously we were measured by the amount of pallets that we could get ready through the night. I had already come late to work twice because I lived far away and it was very hard for me to get to work. I had no money. There was no things like Uber. And even if I would have never been able to afford it. But let's dive into the little story that I wrote where I'm going to share with you the exact detail of what transpired that night. So as the dim moonlight spilled through my window that evening, I knew this night held the weight of my future. I was struggling to meet ends and I had landed a job through a dear friend and through his kindness. And for that I was grateful beyond words. But that night destiny had an unyielding grip on me, making my journey to work an uphill battle that I had to experience every single day. And it was particularly hard in the nights when I had night shift because the public transport system was really bad. The distance from my humble home to the first bus station was a daunting 5 kilometers, followed by a seemingly never-ending 25-kilometer ride on the buses and underground train. The final leg of my journey led me through a sprawling industrial area where my workplace awaited. And the problem was that the 5 kilometers to the first bus station I had to walk. There was no one that could take me. It was late in the evenings. I was never great at asking for help. My mother didn't have a car, so the only way to do it was to walk there and make sure that I can get there in time to catch the last bus, which most of the time didn't depart on time, sometimes didn't come at all. There was no cell phones, there was no information system, so you never knew. You would just go there and hope for the best. This particular week had brought with it a sense of impending doom as my boss sternly warned me that any further tardiness would cost me my job. And panic set in. My heart sank, knowing I couldn't afford to lose this lifeline because I was doing bad already. It was then with the meager remains of my first paycheck that I decided to invest in a mountain bike. And that was my beacon of hope to conquer the daily challenges that threatened my livelihood, so that I could never have to rely on walking again or hitchhiking or finding someone in the last moment or the last minute. And so the night fell when my shift started at 11 p.m., knowing that I was armed with my trusty mountain bike, which I was so proud of. I decided that night I didn't have to rely on the bus that had betrayed me in the past. As the last bus departed at 9 p.m., I had no choice but to pedal my way through the night. My bicycle was parked in the bottom garage entry section, and pride was swelling within me for this being my first ever purchase, and it was such an important purchase. It was a symbol of resilience in a sea of adversity. That bike represented a ray of light in my dark reality. But that night, little did I know that fate had a cruel surprise waiting for me. And when I went down to fetch my mountain bike, all that remained was the broken lock that had once secured it. My heart sank, desperation consumed me. With no one to turn to and time ticking away, I had to think fast. Without any other options, I started running towards the town where the bus would depart from, praying for a miracle along the way. And after 40 minutes of uncertainty, a kind soul stopped to offer me a ride, reigniting just a glimmer of hope within me. But as the minutes slipped by, I knew it would be a race against time. Finally, I arrived at the underground station, but the path ahead was far from easy. The industrial area loomed dark and vast, and within it lay my workplace. Determination and anxiety fueled my sprint, the distance narrowing between me and my destination. Yet, just when I thought I might make it, a canal appeared like an unsurmountable barrier. My heart sank, and for a fleeting moment, I considered surrendering to despair. It was that moment where I really thought, maybe pulling the plug is the easiest thing. And maybe then everything can just stop and I don't have to deal with all of this anymore. But within that moment of darkness, a surge of strength emerged from within. I couldn't give up. I had come too far. Turning back, I took a detour, running as fast as my legs could possibly carry me. But I knew very well that the way back to the exit and getting to the other entrance, which would have been the correct one, was way too long. As I finally arrived at work, I felt a mix of exhaustion and relief because I thought, hey, at least I made it. I didn't give up. But despite my heartfelt explanation, I couldn't prevent the inevitable outcome, and my job was lost that night. Disappointment washed over me, but amidst the heartache, I knew that my journey was far from over. Life had tested me that night, and I had learned invaluable lessons along the way. The road ahead might be uncertain, but I vowed that night to keep chasing hope, one step at a time. That night I faced adversity and the darkness of my thoughts, but I emerged stronger, and it wasn't the fairy tale ending I had envisioned, but it was a chapter in my life that would forever shape my resilience and determination. I decided as I moved forward, I carry the knowledge that life doesn't always unfold as planned, but the strength to persevere lies within all of us. And that's not just my story, but it's a reminder to all those who face obstacles to keep chasing hope. For within the struggle lies the potential for growth and triumph. Together we can overcome, one step, one pedal at a time. So that was my little story, and trust me, it was a time that was really not great. It wasn't easy. That night had become a milestone on a journey and on a new future that I started from there. There was so much awakening in there. There was so much that happened to me. And it was, I think, the only time in my life where I really came close to pulling the plug. And even if it was just in my head, because I looked at that inviting water, thinking if you just make a couple of steps and you just let go, then everything can be over. But that night, something else came up in me, and it had changed everything, and it changed my future because I made some decisions from there which were dramatic and really then in return changed my life. But those stories I will share on some future episodes with you. But for now, I really want to discuss with you, what did I learn that night? Number one, I learned that life is not always kind to you. And as much as we think that things should turn out the way we want them to be so that we can be happy, life very often proves us the opposite. I learned that despite any success or wealth you may possess, nothing is more terrifying than loneliness. And I can tell you there was more loneliness than one person can carry that night. I learned that things do not always turn out the way we would like them to turn out, because I thought I'm going to make it, but life threw a curveball. And the message in it is turn around, get back up, and to try your best. After all, life is all about how you show up. I learned that sometimes it seems much easier to just give up, and that sometimes giving up looks like the easier solution. But I also thought that night that I will never allow such thoughts to take over in my mind again. I learned that showing up no matter the outcome is one of the most critical things, whether in life or in business. And sometimes I really believe that it is one of the most important things in life, how you show up. And that night, I showed up. That night, I tried everything. I put all my heart, my soul, everything into being there on time. And it wasn't enough. But I tried. And I turned around and I tried again. And sometimes in life, everything that life is about is that one more. That rule of one more. Trying one more day to stay sober. Trying one more time to make up with that person that you are fighting with. Trying one more time to save your relationship. That is all that life is about. I learned that there is nothing wrong with asking for help and being vulnerable and fallible as long as you are not incompetent. But I didn't like to ask for help. And maybe because there was no one that could have helped me in that time anyway. But if I asked, maybe I would have found a solution. Someone that cared. I learned that even if hope is right within reach, it can be so far away. That moment when I stood at the edge of that canal and I knew that it's right there. I can be there on time, but yet I couldn't. And I knew what that meant for me. That night, it was dramatic. I learned that every situation in life, no matter how hard it may seem, is an opportunity for growth and to get up and try one more time. I learned about the power of perseverance. In the face of adversity, I discovered the true strength of resilience. That night taught me that even when the odds are stacked against you, giving up should never be the answer. It's a reminder that success is often born out of determination and perseverance, and that grows very often out of situations of desperation and despair. And if we see situations like that as an opportunity for growth, then we can never go wrong. As we navigate through life, we encounter countless challenges that test our resolve. We may stumble and fall, but it's crucial to remember that failure is never the end. It's an opportunity to learn, grow, and rise again, stronger than before. Loneliness can cast a daunting shadow in your life, making even the smallest tasks seem insurmountable. However, that night I realized that reaching out for support doesn't make us weak, it makes us human. And it's okay. It's okay to ask for help and lean on others when we need it most, and reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles. Our expectations may not always align with reality, but that doesn't mean we should lose hope. Sometimes life takes unexpected turns, leading us down uncharted paths. Embracing these detours can lead to remarkable opportunities for growth and self-discovery. There were so many things I've learned and turned into positive energy that night, and I could have just given up, but I didn't. No matter how challenging a situation may seem, showing up is half the battle in most of the situations of your life. It's a testament to our commitment and dedication to life and to the things that we do. Whether it's in our personal lives or within the realm of business, consistent effort and unwavering determination pave the way for success so many times in life. Remember one thing. Take this one thing away from this story. Life is a series of ups and downs. Each setback is an invitation to rise above, to summon the strength within us and try again. Even when hope feels distant, it's important to hold on to the belief that brighter days lie ahead. And they did. I could have ended it that night. I could have really given in to what I was thinking, those dark thoughts. But if I think about it now, how much beautiful life I would have lost, how much beautiful memories I would have lost. Unbelievable. That horror would have been 10 times more than the horror and despair that I felt that night. So, my message out of this, let us face each new day with courage, with resilience and an unwavering spirit. I want you to show up, embrace the challenges, and never forget that every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. And together, let us continue on our journey, knowing that perseverance is the key to unlocking our true potential. Keep pushing forward, for greatness awaits on the other side. It's my little story that I wanted to share with you today. High energy episode, but more on the vulnerable side, on the authentic side. But it was very important for me to share this with you. And there's no really key points that I've addressed those strategies. But I hope that in this episode is something for you to learn, something that you can resonate with. And please share the love. Like, review the podcast, connect to me if there's anything that I can help you with. And I'm glad that you tuned in again for the 15-Minute Monday. And I'll see you at the end of the week for another episode on the Success Blueprint, where we discuss strategies to build a life and business you love. Take care, guys.